let's talk about the Skeleton Crew.
Woo! Let's go.
I will give you my quick personal opinion. If you think that Star Wars can create a fun and enjoyable TV show that involves little children defeating space pirates, then you should probably go buy Haley Welsh's crypto coin and make a lot of money doing it. I do not like the Goonies. I've been lambasted for that opinion for years and years and years.
Here we go.
You will not change my stance. That movie is terrible, and those kids are annoying, and I will die on that hill. That being said,
and your mother hates you.
That being said, I have not watched these episodes because I haven't watched anything from Disney in probably a good 6 months or more.
How can you give a review on something you haven't seen?
I'm not reviewing it. I'm not reviewing it. I'm just giving you my opinion on the topic at hand. Is kids in a space pirate movie probably going to be terrible? But I've been disagreed with on a lot of bases. And I know Critical Drinker said he enjoyed it. Brian over here, we'll get to his opinion in a minute. But first, let me discuss it with Dutch Butters. What is your take? Have you watched the show? Have you seen the 2 episodes?
I did watch it because we have Disney with the commercials turned on, so I don't pay very much for it. And it was terrible because these are like 30-minute episodes with like 18 commercial breaks thrown in the middle of them if you don't pay for the commercial-free version. And I did not enjoy myself, mostly because I kept on breaking up because of the commercials.
Commercials ruin it.
It was ridiculous how many commercials they put in this thing. But no, it didn't feel like a Star Wars show to me. It's like they're in the suburbs. It's like I don't know what they're trying to do here. It was a very strange take on Star Wars. You know, I'm used to desert planets and swamp planets and city planets and stuff. And so it was weird seeing these kids, you know, riding bikes through neighborhoods with, you know,
hover bikes
and stuff. Yeah, real dangerous for kids too. You know, no. My initial take is it's just Goonies in space with Muppets, and I do not like Muppet shows. These Star Wars Muppets are ridiculous. You know, it's all these CGI and fake plastic masks on all these pirates and yar. You know, and it's just I didn't like it. I didn't like the robot with the squirrel in his eye socket. You know, I can see why he would probably try to. I can see why they would sell a lot of toys with him, but
I'm buying that toy.
But new Star Wars fans don't spend money on toys, so they're not going to sell any, and it's just not for me, man. This isn't a show that I'm really all that interested. I wanted to see the first couple episodes, but I don't think I'm going to continue watching the show after this because it's just I'm 40 years older than their base that they're trying to sell this thing to. So my Star Wars fan days are over, man. So it's just not for me.
Let me ask you before we get to Brian, why do you think guys like Brian, Critical Drinker, why do you think they're enjoying the show?
They're hanging on to their nostalgia. They haven't given up yet.
Nope.
Yeah, you haven't given up yet. You still got a little hope, brother. You got a little hope that Star Wars can be good. And
want to fight, bro? You want to fight?
Look, hey, you see all those? I got a wall.
This is why I get demonetized. I just realized that you can't. I gotta stop threatening people on the street.
No, look. If it was entertainment and enjoyable for me, I would tell you. I have no problem going with or against people's thoughts. It just wasn't for me. I didn't enjoy it. I thought the characters were kind of plastic. The kids were not great actors. That the little lesbian couple annoys me. You know, it's just I didn't like the little blue elephant kid. Yeah, because it looks like he's wearing a freaking plastic mask. It's not well done. I don't like it.
When's the last time you saw Return of the Jedi?
I know, bro. I
mean, I have the same problem with that movie.
Think about the plastic mask, like it sounds better than the original Star Wars.
So it's just not for me.
Do you remember the teddy bears that were actively hunting
terrible,
and murdering people?
Hate them. Okay. That is not a good movie. That's the worst movie of the original trilogy. So
All right, let's get to Brian. Brian, shed some joy on this topic.
So
why did you enjoy this?
Everything Dutch Butter said is coming from a place of extreme negativity.
No, it's not.
Look, you don't have to like it, but dude, you watched it with 37 commercials. Like
I did.
You're already coming from a place of
because I knew we were going to be talking about it here, and I don't like to talk about things that I haven't seen.
I get it. Like get Pirate Bay or something, dude. I mean, I'm not condoning that, but like,
yeah.
Okay, look. So I watched it. I actually thought it was very good. Yeah, the makeup and stuff, it's very clearly campy Star Wars, but it wasn't bad. The actors, specifically Ryan Kira Armstrong, am I saying that right? The main little active girl. She's super charming. The robot's cool as hell. The robot with the rat is cool. And I'm not saying it's Keenan.
He be talking like a pirate.
It's not, it's not premium cinema. But it definitely scratches a cool little sci-fi itch. It's clearly family friendly. There's nothing woke about it or weird yet, I should say. And I enjoy it. And assuming it stays in that vein, I'm going to watch it with my kids and probably have a good time. I did like the Goonies. I love the Goonies, and I did like Star Wars. So you give me a little Star Wars and the Goonies, I'm up for it. Now, current Star Wars, I'm so apathetic to. I don't care. I watched this because we were going to talk about it on today's show. I knew it, and I expected super cringe, boring. This is what Star Wars nowadays is: cringe, boring, and woke. There was nothing cringe about it. It was super charming. Nothing boring about it whatsoever. I really wanted to watch another episode, and it wasn't woke. So I got all of that into one. The characters were fun. The pirate stuff was fun, and I'm interested to see what happens next in the show. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was certainly good. And in nowadays, you give me anything that is Star Wars and good, then it's bound to make a mark, because nowadays Star Wars is so poorly done. So the bar is pretty low.
Is what if I can kind of take what you're saying there? Are you saying that this show is good because everything else is so bad?
No, I'm saying the bar is low. So I'm so like, you're surprised when you watch it. You're like, damn, I'm entertained, and I don't hate these characters at all.
Here's when I think of Star Wars.
Sounds like you talk about your wife. Kind of likes me. And she
kind of likes me.
Yeah, she sort of likes me.
We get along. It's okay.
Yeah.
We get along. It's fine. I haven't seen her in a few days, but she's around here somewhere.
Every once in a while, she lets me do really freaky things to her. So.
It's good. It works.
All right.
No, I mean, it's good, especially if you have kids. Like, you're gonna enjoy. I have 2 13-year-old daughters. Like, they like science fiction like I do. They like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and shit like that. So they're gonna probably dig this. And current Star Wars, was so uninteresting. Not only did I not want to show it them because I don't like the messaging, I didn't want to watch it. So now I got something I can watch that is it's a cool sci-fi thing. It's perfect for their age group for sure. I might be a little over the age that it was made for, but I'm like 17 in my mind. So I'm having a good time.
All right. Keanu, I'm going to get to you next, but first I just wanted to say hello to Odin. Welcome to the show, sir. Thanks for being here.
Hi. Glad to be here. Sorry, I was a bit later than usual. Sun actually went down around the same time, but then my dogs took forever to come back in. So
all good, man. Family first.
Waiting for Odin to make fun of me for liking Skeleton Crew.
We'll get there in a second.
I won't make fun of you, but I have some things to say.
All right, cool. Keanu, have you seen the Skeleton TV show? Are you interested at all in what's going on with Star Wars? Talk to us.
No idea that it even existed until I got the show notes.
Perfect.
So I watched some clips. I'm not particularly fond of Star Wars, and I'm not particularly fond of children. Probably even Star Wars more than children. So this would not seemingly be the thing for me. But I did watch some clips. I like the idea of a robot babysitter or nanny or teacher or whatever it is.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Or isn't one of them like they described him as like he kind of watches the children or something, but all the children act like adults anyway. I just want to know, when does 11 show up with a nosebleed? That's exactly what it seems like to me. But there's something kind of like one of you said, it's charming to see kids that like act like adults somehow. So it's not often that I like watch something that's like geared towards children, but when I do, I'm always pleasantly surprised. So I might check it out. But
Okay. So you're intrigued. That's interesting. I'm
I'm
happy to
intrigued,
hear that
actually.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched anything Star Wars since the one with Padme, to be honest with you.
Whoa,
Dang.
really?
I don't think
Nice.
so. Or no, you know what? I saw the Adam Driver one, but yeah, I'm sure your
Okay.
whole chat is blowing up with like, she's a moron. What is she doing here? But I come here to
No.
learn as well.
You've saved a lot of stress.
Something just dawned on me, and I'm probably really stupid for not catching up on this earlier. But Nick Frost does the voice of the robot, the pirate robot.
Yeah. Okay.
The robot's name is SM33. Spell that out.
Smee from Captain Hook.
From Peter
That's
Pan.
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that. That's cool.
That's a nice little nod.
Yeah, see,
Don't mind
Star
that.
Wars used to do that a lot, and
Mhm.
then they just stopped, or
It's like-
or their acronyms started. We're about BSDM or something crazy.
That's kind of cool though, because that reminds me of something like Indiana Jones in the Raiders of the Lost Ark, when the plane had C-3PO on the side of it when they were flying out of the jungle.
Mhm.
Like that's that kind of a nod. Like you wouldn't notice it if you're not looking for it,
But-
but those who know.
That is
I
not
like
the
that.
reaction I was expecting out of you guys.
I like that. I like
I
that.
like that. That's cute.
It's cool. Even
Yeah.
Easter eggs that don't affect the story and only
Mm.
add to the fan base is cool. That's cool.
Maybe werewolf guy should have a hook on his hand.
I think it also works because the robot character is good.
Yeah, the
Like,
robot character is very
it's
good.
at least for me, it was the best part of the
Yep,
show.
same.
Maybe
same.
maybe a giant space whale will be chasing the ship around with a clock in his belly that he ate.
Hook. Where's
That
the
was a
hook?
crocodile.
See, Smee only makes me
Bang.
think of the film Hook, which is amazing.
I
Yeah.
need somebody
Yes.
to say. I need somebody in the show to say.
Rubio,
Rufio. Bangarang, Rufio.
Bangarang.
I love that movie.
Great
All
Christmas
right.
movie too.
Well, that is the one that's interesting. I never really thought about that before, but that is the one movie that has like a predominantly child cast that is actually good. Is Captain Hook? I really enjoy that movie.
Movies were good back then.
Yeah,
When they
that's
made
interesting.
those. Even
I'll have
Disney
to
movies were good back then. So.
I'll have to dig deep into my hatred of kids movies and find out why I like that one more. Maybe it's Robin Williams. Odin. All right, Odin.
Yes.
Talk to me, sir. Bring the positivity up a little bit. Talk to me about this Skeleton Crew show.
Positivity?
Positive.
Is that what
Oh, are
you
you
said?
gonna poo-poo
I mean,
it?
I'm not
Odin's
gonna
not
hate. I'm not gonna
positive
hate on
person.
it by any means. But
Okay.
here's my issue with the show in general: is that the show would be better if it wasn't in Star Wars.
Yeah, you're right.
The entire time I'm watching it, I'm like, I like the characters, I like the actors that are playing them, but this just does not really fit within Star Wars. It feels like Star Wars is this artificial backdrop that they decided, hey, well, we need to make like a Goonies in space with Star Wars. Let's go ahead and just play with it. And I can see what they were trying to do, right? They're trying to broaden the horizons of the Star Wars IP and universe, but I think because especially how much they have just dug a hole for the franchise, it just feels like desperation, and it just feels completely unnecessary. Like, I would rather have seen these characters and these actors in a completely independent world that has not attached to Star Wars in any way, that has no attachment to the Jedi or to the Force, and I think it actually would have worked a lot better. Because otherwise it just feels like a derivative of other things, which, again, it's fine. It's not a bad derivative by any means, but it is still a derivative nonetheless. And when we are in the era of Star Wars where we are, really as fans deserving really good, top quality original content, when all we're getting is bad content, or in this case, a decent derivative content, that is the reason why I ultimately am not a huge fan of the show. So that's why, as I said, like, I think the kids are good. I think the acting is good. I think that all of those pieces and parts are there. But the issue actually for it, oddly enough, is Star Wars. It is the fact that the Star Wars brand is attached to it and that those elements are being added in. Like his friend. Why does that friend have to be a Max Rebo child? Like, that just does not really work well. Like, it just doesn't look really good. It just, and also, like, they took Max Rebo and decided to make this alien like a normal, regular, everyday human family type person. It's like, okay, so now you're just doing it arbitrarily. No, like the Max Rebo character, like his family. Like when he's like, all right, I'm gonna go see my parents now, and they go inside, like, oh, hey, how's it going? They're just acting like normal human persons.
I don't know who that is. Why can't they be human?
Yeah, it's the piano player from Return of the Jedi, right?
Yeah, Max Rebo.
Max Rebo.
Yeah.
Yeah, the giant elephant. And in this case, it's an elephant child. No, it's more of a, they did that because they're like, oh, you're going to remember this is the whole Max Rebo thing. He's connected to that character you remember from the original films.
Dude, I had no idea who that was.
Yeah. And so, like, at least again, for me, I was like, oh, I get it. That's the Max Rebo character. Oh, he's just going to act like a normal human. So this person could have just been a human friend.
Is it actually Max Rebo, or is it just the same species?
It's not Max. I don't believe it's Max. I don't think time-wise that would work out, but it's
same race.
Same species. Max
My
Rebo's
criticism
species,
was the little robot glasses girl. Like I've always hated that. Even in the original Star Wars, I literally hated that. I think they look stupid, cheesy.
Yeah, I don't know what she is either, right? Because it's like, is she human or is she an android? Or
we've kept this going for like 35, 40 years now, and I'm like, I didn't understand it then. I don't understand it now.
I feel like Keanu is drowning in nerdom right now. She's like, what is happening?
I'm just trying to keep up. I'm like, oh,
Now,
I know what an
Keanu-
android is.
Now, Keanu, I have to tell you a little bit about a guy named Lobot, all right? And just hear me.
Yeah, I don't know any of these names. Like Odin knows the name of the keyboard player.
It's Max Rebo.
Yeah, it's Max Rebo.
How do you not know that?
I don't know that.
Are you even a Star Wars fan? How old?
I guess I'm not, because I don't know the name of the.
What's the
random
name of the little
elephant guy
dude
that played piano for 3
What's the name of the little dude that's in the fat rolls of Jabba the Hutt?
Salacious Crumb.
I was asking Brian. I know he doesn't know it.
I don't remember his name, but my wife and I role play as those two characters.
Excellent retort.
Now that I
Excellent.
understand. Calling yourself fat. Is that it? Okay.
So which one says ho ho ho?
That's me.
Santa Claus? All right. I'm gonna real quick.
I know I have to watch this now. I just like the last time I did this and I went right out and watched whatever it was we were talking about. So
Which is funny enough because I think Keanu might be Disney's target audience. It's people who haven't watched Star Wars in a while, and they're like, "Yeah, we got to get this lady to watch our show. Come on in." And now we've just hooked her.
And I went, "It is enticing. You're right. I mean, all right."
Yeah. See, Disney know what they're doing. All right. By the request of our gracious producer, he wrote a tweet about this show that I'm going to now read verbatim.
No.
I'm gonna try to do it as fast as I can.
Oh my god, it's so long.
It's so long.
What the hell?
All right. Let me put my voice actor's hat on and jump into this real quick.
Goodness.
Okay, here we go. I've heard Skeleton Crew is supposed to be Goonies in the Star Wars universe. It isn't. As a Goonies fan, the fun of watching Goonies was seeing a tight-knit group of outcast kids come together for a crazy mission to save their community. Each kid had an interesting and well-defined personality that made them unique and fun to watch. They each stood out among the group. You remembered all their names. I added all in there because it's better. But most of all, each character was smart. And I don't mean smart in the terms of book smart or street smart, but they were able to solve puzzles and riddles and also figure out how to survive traps meant to kill them and fight off dangerous criminals. In short, they were resourceful. But they also drove the action and plot forward in a believable way. The problem with Skeleton Crew is that none of the kids are interesting. Their dynamic is bad, and they're all dumb. Everything that goes wrong with them is caused by them being stupid, which may be accurate for kids their age, but doesn't make you root for them. Things happen to them, and they make things worse by being dumb, the opposite of how it worked in the Goonies. Also, the main girl boss, quote unquote, is insufferable. She's probably the most unlikable character in the show. She's essentially Charlie Sheen from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but in preteen female form. All she does from the moment she appears on screen is act like a complete entitled bitch. She's not funny or smart or inspiring. She puts down the boys and exploits situations for her own gain. She's selfish, greedy, and worst of all, mean-spirited. Cadis was bullied by a girl when he was younger, I swear to God.
100%.
Compare her to Mickey, the de facto leader of the Goonies, who brings his crew together through optimism and single-minded mission to help everyone and their families and keep his friends together. There is no comparison. Honestly, I was surprised at how boring and stupid the first 2 episodes of this show have been. I know some people are praising it, but I think that's down to 1, the Star Wars brand, 2, it's not overtly badly written, and 3, it's not the Acolyte. But anyone who thinks this show is up there with the Goonies is just plain wrong. The makers of the show have proven that they have no idea what made The Goonies a classic film that's standing the test of time. Skeleton Crew is a complete misfire and another in a long line of Lucasfilm failures. Will it get better? Maybe, but I seriously doubt it based on what I've seen so far. So my question to the panel is, who hurt Matthew Kadish?
Yeah.
Odin, I'm sending it to you.
I mean,
Something.
I feel like it had to have been a you know what, in this show, that little boy that just makes all the mistakes, that like, you know, sends him into hyperspace because he's playing with the buttons, he's told not to touch things, he touches them anyway. I think that's the kind of person Kadish was, and so he must have had some older
was touched by an
girlfriend that was,
elephant.
you know, putting him down in his life and keeping him on track. That must have been what happened to him. That's the only guess I have.
It's so crazy because I like the character, the little that's the out of the kids, the one that takes charge is she's the most charming so far.
I wouldn't say she's I wouldn't say
Well,
she's
you-
I wouldn't say she's charming. Okay.
I don't know the word for it, but like she captures her role.
Well, I wouldn't call
She's
the
not-
child a biatch like Mr. Kadish would, because she's
Yeah.
a child.
Yeah,
But-
that's pretty crazy. That was a little over the top, I think she does a good
Little
job. I
girl,
normally don't
man.
like kid actors, but I didn't dislike her.
I'm a wordsmith.
Jesus.
I feel like I'm talking to an AI now. It's like, I'm a wordsmith. I'm afraid
I-
Ken Loudon.
I'm sorry I had to go away there for a second, but I had previously read Kadish's comment, and I agree with about 90% of what he said. So yeah.
Wow.
And I hardly ever agree with him. You know that. So
This is true.
He's going a
It
little
feels like
nuts.
You can't let go of the past. Like it's not.
no, I can't.
Yeah,
I
the
can't. let go
leader of
that.
the Goonies can be a little biatch if you know, if that's what's popular right now. So
He was a little
if
bit
you're
of
a
a
huge
pain in the
fan of
butt.
something, then I guess like seeing it sort of, this isn't a remake of the Goonies, but it's what it's reminding people of. So
Mhm.
if it's like nostalgia makes people crazy, that's why I hate it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I only compare it to the Goonies because I don't have anything else to compare it to. But it's not the Goonies. It's not
Yeah.
Star Wars Goonies. It's not.
Yeah. I
Well,
don't think anyone's saying it's on the same level. I think
And no one on
No.
this panel ever said it
Nope.
was on the same level. That's
No.
fact.
No.
it's more of it's borrowing the ideas clearly from a
Yeah.
property like Goonies.
But other
which is-
movies and TV shows have already done this. Like we
Mhm.
saw this in Prodigy 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, Stranger Things is a Goonies ripoff as well. Like
Stranger
it,
Things,
it's
right.
like Goonies was the trendsetter, and everything that comes after that now is just inevitably going to be compared to it, regardless.
or like
even
the
though-
new It movie. Is that
Yeah.
sort of like same thing? That has the
Yeah.
kids from Stranger
Mhm.
Kids in it, Stranger
Yeah.
Things in it. Stranger
Oh, I
Kids.
finally read the It book. Oh man, it's weird. The movie is way better.
Oh,
It-
the
the
book
It
is
book?
wild, yeah.
Wild, bro.
Yeah.
Never. Don't. I do
Dark.
A
not
lot of weird
recommend.
shit happens in that one.
All right.
much darker.
Does can we put this topic to bed, and we'll read the super chat here in a second. Does anybody have any final words for Skeleton Crew? Any all
I
good
hope it
here?
keeps it stays good. I hope the message
Okay.
stays out of it. And as long as when I say the message, I'm referring to in Critical Drinkers version of it, the quote unquote the message. I don't want a whole bunch of propaganda, LGBT nonsense. Like don't put down religion. Don't promote depravity. Like it's a kids movie. It's a kids show. So let's keep it that way, and it's going to be great. And if they do that, it'll be a good watch. Especially if you have kids.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
two things. Critic list score for me, it's the decent. It's like right at a 50% for me right now.
Yeah,
Again,
I
could
would
go
say
higher or lower. Again, it's
65,
fine.
70
It's
for
fine.
me.
But the second point is, I really hope there's a redemption arc for his dad, like the main kid's dad, because that guy was so disappointing.
Insufferable.
Like as a parent, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like the child like is clearly young enough to still have bedtime stories, and for his dad to be like, "Aren't you a little too old for that?" I wanted to smack him. I was like, "You read your child a bedtime story right now,
I'm
dude."
calling right now. When they get back after
the
this
dad in me?
harrowing
It's just-
adventure, the dad's gonna be like, "I'm so sorry, wasn't there for you." It's gonna be one of
Yeah.
those.
I
We,
hope.
we saw that in Goonies.
Mhm. That is fair.
Yeah, that's real.
I
It's like an
predict-
80s parent.
I predict wokeness very soon.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
just-
boy.
Just
Okay.
saying. It's coming.